Welcome back, Tiger Sports fans, for another episode of Tiger Sports Nation. I am Catarina Zabopazini.
And I'm Dick Min, and we have a lot to get you caught up on after a busy weekend in DePauw sports.
The football team started the season strong by defeating Rose Holman by a final of 17-14. Wally Rennie and Gus Baumgartner both ran over 100 yards, while Rennie accounted for both DePauw touchdowns as he found the end zone on the ground and through the air when he connected with Trey Shaw for a 31-yard touchdown in the third quarter. The Tigers will be back in action on Saturday as they'll take on Anderson on the road.
The men's and women's soccer teams has also kicked off the seasons last week as the men are off to 1-1 start as they held their first win against Wilmington last week by a score of 3-1 and fought Anderson to a 2-2 tie on Labor Day. Ben Whitner, Jay Sprieger, Jacob Fowler, Jack Kirby, and Alec McCarty have all scored for Tigers in the first two games. The women have also gotten off to a 1-1 start as they opened the season to a 1-1 tie to Octobrine and got their first win by beating Manchester 2-0 at home on Saturday. Annalise Grammel and KJ Ellie led the way into the goal each on Saturday.
The DePauw field hockey team opened their season with a 4-0 win on Sunday against Sewanee, giving head coach Olivia Shagan her first win at DePauw. Congrats, coach! The Tigers will look to make it 2 in a row on Sunday at Rhodes.
The men's and women's golf teams were competing this weekend as well, as the men took 10th in the Transylvania and the women took 8th in the Swager Invitational. The women will next compete Saturday, September 17th in the Illinois Wesleyan Fall Classic, while the men will compete on the 18th in the Rhodes Intercollegiate.
The men's and women's cross-country teams were back in action last week as well, as both teams took second in the Rose Holman opener. Their next meet will be Saturday in the Calvin Knight Invite.
Lastly, the women's volleyball team had 5 matches over the last 5 days and has opened with a solid record of 3-2. On Tuesday, they were able to knock off Franklin 3-1 in 4 sets, which marked head coach Deb Zeller's 600th career win. Congrats, coach, on that great accomplishment.
Senior Quinn Flaspohler from the men's soccer team was gracious enough to sit down with our very own Griffin Albright to discuss the team's solid start and aspirations for the next season.
Hey guys, Griffin Albright here. Today I have with me Quinn Flaspohler of the DePauw men's soccer team. Quinn, great to have you on the show.
Griffin, thanks for having me.
Of course. Glad you could be here. So just want to start off talking about your journey back to the game of soccer after taking basically what was 2 years off because of injury last year, going through COVID the year before that, tough few years. Now, coming into this year, what does it mean to you to be back playing with your guys on the soccer team this year?
It's extremely exciting. The whole year so far has been, it seems new almost in a way, just taking 2 years off from COVID and injury like you mentioned. But I'm just happy to be back, honestly. Every moment's been a real joy.
Right, yeah. Bet you love it. But the guys love having you back too.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. So shifting focus a little bit now to the team. This Wednesday you went to Franklin, won 2-0. Great game. You guys are now up to 2-0-1 on the season. Just want to ask, what's your evaluation of the team's play up to this point in the season?
Yeah, I think happy to be undefeated so far. I think our draw against Anderson earlier this week was a bit tough. But to come back and get a win against Franklin, 2-0 as well, clean sheet, was a really nice response. And game today against U Chicago, hopefully we'll get a good result. So happy with how we've started, but we've got a lot of work to do.
Right, yeah. Well, looking forward to seeing how you guys play tonight.
Yeah.
And so just looking at the conference this year, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think the usual suspects will be the top, like Canyon and OWU? Do you think there'll be a little bit of shake-up, a little different look this year? What are you thinking about conference this year?
Yeah, it's hard to spectate that. I think the season, just the duration of it's so long, you never really know. But there are teams historically that have been good. I think it's hard to know now, but I think Kenyon will be a good team, OWU will be a good team, Denison, Wabash. Honestly, the whole conference is pretty competitive, but I think by the time we reach conference play, DePauw will be right there with everyone else. So
Awesome. Good to hear. And that leads me into my final question. So just talking about you guys specifically, just for the rest of this year, what are your guys' aspirations? What are you guys looking to accomplish with this season?
Yeah, NCAA tournament for sure. I think that's number one. I think everyone wants to go in and have that to some extent, whether that be a run or just an appearance. NCAA tournament or NCAC tournament win would be nice, or regular season, one of the two. But if we can get an NCAA tournament bid, I think that's really what we are focusing on as a program holistically. So
Awesome. Well, good to hear. Looking forward to seeing how you guys' season shakes out. Best of luck, Quinn. Thanks again for being on the show. Thank you guys for watching.
And that will do it for this episode of Tiger Sports Nation. Once again, I am Catarina Zabopazini.
And I'm Doug Mintz. And as always,
Roll
roll Tigers.